She's learnt a new instrument. She's decorated a room. She's learned how to make pasta. So she's doing life skill stuff.
Yeah.
But the schoolwork has dropped. So we're in a mixture of, well, okay, so we hear of other people that are going through real hardship trying to be teachers. And guess what?
Yeah.
Otherwise we'd be teachers.
No. So I suppose there's a sense check, isn't there, of actually, are we doing
good?
Are we doing enough?
So we almost feel a bit guilty.
Should I sit down and make her do it? Which is not who we are.
I think your thoughts and sentiments are shared by so many people at the moment. And this is more about what is in your control and what isn't. So, and this is not just for you with your children, or this is relationships in general. One thing to understand is there is only one thing that you can control, and that is you. You can't control anybody else, no matter how hard you try, unless they want to, unless they're bought into your idea. So one thing to be rest assured as parents, the national curriculum has been put on hold. There is no legal requirement whatsoever to educate a child in the UK. Okay, so that's the first thing. So this is about gathering information. Back to what we talked about before.
Already.
Yeah. And I think we kind of knew this anyway.
Yeah.
We just wanted to say it.
So give yourself permission that if it's not working for you and your family, because you all have to live together, relationship before task. The vast majority of people will value relationship before task. Those people who value task before relationship will be getting on with their structure, will be saying, I want to wear my school uniform, I want to do all my lessons, and I want to do them at the time that I am supposed to do them, and I'm going to stick to my planner. They're the ones who are the only ones who are going to be sitting there going, I really rocked homeschooling. They're in quite a small percentage of the wider population. The vast majority of people are going to be, way, hey, there are no rules, therefore I'm not going to apply any rules. That's the other end of the spectrum. And the rest of us are going to be somewhere in between. So if it works for your family to stay in your PJs, or your children stay in their PJs all day, and if they do one lesson a day, you're winning, then that's your version of homeschooling. If they're learning other things, so let's look at the school of life. It is bigger than academia. And any adult who's lived for any period of time knows that school isn't the end, it's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just a foundation to be built upon. And there is so much more to life. There are so many more tools in your toolbox. So if you were to liken it to a toolbox, because we all love picture, so like metaphors and things. So if you come out of school, age 18, and you have your standard tools, so you've got your hammer, your screwdriver, maybe a wrench, maybe a few other things, and you go out into life, and then suddenly somebody comes along and says, do you know what, you need an Allen key. And maybe Allen key is cooking. And then somebody else comes along, do you know what, you need a Swiss Army knife. And a Swiss Army knife might be conflict resolution, something along those lines. Throughout life, you're adding to your toolbox, and that never stops. So if parents have gone, do you know what, academia, one, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not a teacher, it takes 5 years to qualify as a teacher, and we're all expected to do it in 5 days. I mean, come on, let's get a grip. Let's put some perspective on this. If you're teaching your children how to relate to others, if you're teaching your children how to cook, how to wash a car, how to paint using gloss paint, how to strip wallpaper, does it really matter what you're teaching them? If you're teaching them how to be resilient, how to be flexible. So before we came online, we were talking about one of NLP presuppositions, which is the element that has the greatest flexibility, exerts the most influence. If you're teaching your children how to be flexible in life, how to, when they come across an obstacle or a challenge, that they manage to navigate their way around it, isn't that more important than knowing what the circumference of the world is by using pi? I mean, just a thought.
No, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
And I've got one more little snippet. If you are worried about whatever it is that you're doing, and you're thinking, should I be doing this, should I be doing that? what I want you to do is to imagine that you're either on Aladdin's carpet or in a helicopter, and you fly yourself so high up in the sky that when you look down on your own life, it's just a mere snippet of the millions of years of evolution. And ask yourself, is what I'm worrying about going to matter in 10 years' time? Is it really going to matter? And if the answer is no, then move on, cut yourself some slack. If the answer is yes, it is going to be really important, then apply the strategies around. Dream a dream, find your options, go into reality, go into critic, formulate a plan, and make the best decision you can at the time based on the information that you have to hand.
And
Fantastic advice.
I love that advice already. I'm starting to feel better about it. And actually, I think at these unprecedented times, we're all going to be thinking back to this, including May's going to be thinking back to this time in years to come, when grandparents and talking about these times. And how better to talk about them as in a positive experience through a difficult time. Where
how do we want the memories to be? Do we want them to be that mum and dad locked her in her bedroom and made her do her homework and every single piece of work and sat her down and drilled it in?
That she never used for the rest of her career.
She made pasta and learned how to play the ukulele. We had some great family time on the back of it. So
and from the experience and wealth of being an adult and experiencing the world, that you were more likely to remember how you felt in any given situation than what you learned. And that's the same for children. They are more likely to remember how they felt. So ask yourself, or any other parent who's listening, how do you think your children will be feeling as a result of what is occurring around them? If they feel lacking, if they feel not good enough, what lesson are you teaching them? If they feel supported, accepted, validated, and acknowledged, what lesson are you teaching them?
Again, great advice. Thank you very much, Nikki, for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
You are just so full of great advice. I love it.